Tonight, up to $1 million worth of damage after a prime mover catches fire on the Eyre Peninsula. And Love Thy Neighbour, meet the Broken Hill mates who sacrificed their mullets to raise money for the couple next door.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. A truck has burst into flames on the Eyre Highway, around 100 kilometres west of Ceduna. 8 CFS firefighters arrived on the scene to find the prime mover fully engulfed, leaving the first trailer destroyed, causing an excess of $400,000 worth of damage. Farm fire units in the area helped out by putting out grass fires that had started alongside the truck. Fortunately, response crews managed to save the second trailer on the truck. In a contradicting post on social media, CFS says the damage bill is $1 million. The true cost is yet to be determined. Thankfully, no one was injured. A 14-year-old girl has been arrested and charged with multiple alleged car-related offences after police in the Mid-North brought a car to a stop using spikes. The Holden Captiva was reported stolen from a Moon Tour address last Thursday night. Kadina patrols spotted the vehicle and attempted to pull the driver over, but the vehicle failed to stop. Police will allege the allegedly stolen car was tracked to Kolpara, where officers successfully spiked the tyres, which brought the car to rest in a paddock. The teen, police say was behind the wheel, was granted bail to appear in the Kadina Youth Court on Wednesday. UniSA was in Port Augusta last week promoting its Aboriginal Pathway program to encourage prospective students. Current members of the program say no matter your age, there are options available for Indigenous students to begin their tertiary education.
UniSA staff from the Aboriginal Pathways program met with possible future students, highlighting how the course can prepare Indigenous people for tertiary education.
Building up your confidence, but your study skills. Our students leave feeling confident and capable. They can write essays, they can write case studies, they know how to reference. And it's just also about that balance, like learning how to balance kids or family and work.
The free 18-month course has seen success right across South Australia. The program opening doors for marginalised people.
Always wanted to do a degree in psychology. I'm actually at a little place in my life where I'm a single mum at the moment and my children are about to start school. And I kind of figured if I'm going to go after my career goals and aspirations, now's the time for me.
The APP has already been established in Ceduna, Port Lincoln and Whyalla, and staff are hopeful Port Augusta will be next on the list.
Definitely that's something that the uni's been working towards for a long time. It's been a tricky time with COVID and other things and, you know, free education being on the chopping board, but I think at the moment we're certainly working towards that, and UniSA is very dedicated to making sure the APP program continues.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A group of friends in Broken Hill have shaved off their beloved mullets, and it's all for a good cause. They're raising money for their neighbours, Rob and Cheryl. The community also getting right behind them. Here's Joshua Mercer.
What started as a backyard barbecue and a couple of haircuts soon morphed into something bigger. A good crowd showing up to the South Golf Club as a group of young men said goodbye to their impressive mullets to help out their neighbours going through a hard time.
The other day before the AFL Grand Final, they said about if they have to get rid of them, they'll get rid of them for a good cause, and they wanted to do it for their, for the next door neighbours, for Rob and Cheryl Murette.
The community really getting behind the fundraiser, showing how close-knit Broken Hill can be and how far they will go to help out one another.
Yeah, it was very awesome, mate. Everyone's got behind it, all the local businesses, local organisations. The little avenue we live in, she's a pretty tight-knit community, and yeah, we also look after one another pretty well.
While there is still some counting to be done, the rough estimate of funds raised is over $20,000.
Casey Harmon and my wife Belinda, who's been amazing, she's done a heap of legwork for this event. They're going to do a count up today, but the rough tally so far was about 21 grand.
The night was made possible by local businesses such as the South Golf Club, the Country Women's Association, who did the catering, the Women's Auxiliary, the Breast Cancer Support Group, as well as Tracy, Ellie and Kelly from Jagged Edge Hair and Beauty. It's not too late to donate, but they must be in by this Friday.
It's never too late to channel some Christmas spirit, especially when it's for a good cause. And over the weekend, Whyalla locals threw on their Santa beards and tinsel before jumping on their motorbikes for a parade through the city, collecting gifts for underprivileged kids along the way.
Engines roaring for a good cause. Whyalla's Steel City Toy Run has taken to the streets once again to collect gifts for disadvantaged children ahead of the Christmas season. Now in its 4th year, the event is bigger than ever, with rev heads from across the region coming together for a parade through the city streets.
Progressed every year, and trailers obviously getting bigger, the toys are getting bigger. What you see here is only a portion of what we got, because there's another 64 trailers sitting inside the office there.
We had people from out of town, as far away as Perry, Port Augusta, got behind us.
Organisers say they were blown away with the number of toys donated by riders and community members who lined the streets waving down the parade as they drove by.
It's probably the biggest one we've done. Hopefully next year will be bigger again. Our sponsors, we can't rave much about the guys that get behind us. Everything here has been donated by the community.
The day also a chance for enthusiasts to show off their pride and joy.
Which one's been your favourite today?
The Harleys.
Organisers say with the rising cost of living hitting families hard, these donations will hopefully ensure local kids don't have to go without presents this Christmas.
We're looking to make things bigger and better each year. Next year we'll hopefully get a jumping castle and all that here for the kids and make a real great day of it, you know.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Crows supporters on the Eyre Peninsula have a lot to look forward to this weekend, with the side's 2 key forwards, Tex Walker and Riley Thillop, making a visit to Port Lincoln. The pair will be running a junior coaching clinic on Sunday at the Ravendale Sporting Complex. Both Tex and Riley will be attending the EP Crows Supporters Group Christmas party, but tickets are limited. A chance for the community to come and speak with the club's players ahead of next year's season. Still to come tonight, the Old Saltbush restaurant in Broken Hill walk away winners at the city's Business Excellence Awards, and 125 years of education. The Spencer Golf School marking an incredible milestone. Welcome back. The Far West's Excellence in Business Awards returned over the weekend, with a number of businesses giving the recognition they deserve. One restaurant was the big winner, taking out 3 awards, including the big prize.
It was local businesses' night of nights, there to determine the best in the West. With a packed house on hand, the Old Saltbush restaurant was the big winner, taking home 3 awards, including the night's big one, the Outback Spirit Award.
At the end of the day, you go to these things to more or less catch up with friends and see other businesses and support them, and to helping them succeed and lifting up everybody that's in the room.
The Old Saltbush has been open for 10 months. The restaurant offers a unique outback dining experience in the city, and coming away with 3 awards was a surprise for the crew.
The Outback Spirit Award was probably the biggest one. We didn't even know, on the night. It was really nice to actually be recognised for all the work that we've done over the last 10 months at the restaurant.
Each year, there is a special guest speaker at the event, and this year it was none other than Anthony Harries Carroll from Bondi Rescue.
Yeah, I was contacted and asked to come along, and I was really honoured. Firstly, I'd never been to Broken Hill, so I had done a little bit of research about Broken Hill, and there's nothing broken about the place because these people are quite rigid and strong.
He likened the community spirit to a surf club.
Very much like a surf club. It's a very community-orientated town and everyone's supporting each other. And I really noticed that everyone's got the same vibe.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
In 1897, 125 years ago, the world's oldest annual marathon commenced in Boston. In the same year, Solomon Town Primary School opened. And on the weekend, the young and the old gathered to celebrate.
An evening of celebration and reflection. Solomon Town Primary School opened their gates to the general public on Friday night to enjoy stalls and memorabilia.
Obviously the school means a lot to a lot of people. The fact that people have reached out from Adelaide from all over the place to send in old school uniforms or photos or yearbooks or report cards, just for everyone to be able to reminisce and come together has been wonderful.
An opportunity for classmates to talk about the good old days and share stories.
My grandma was a student here many years ago, so it's really been great for me to see all these people, these old faces come along, enjoy the night.
When asked about the school, community is the word that popped up time after time, and is one of the reasons one teacher has been working at the school for more than 3.5 decades.
I said to my mates in Adelaide, I'll be back in 4 years, and here I am 36 years later. We want to enjoy teaching, and if we enjoy our teaching, that comes across to them as well, and they enjoy their learning, so we make it interesting.
Staff say the school hasn't changed much over the years, as a lot of the original building remains, but additions such as the kindergarten have helped the school grow.
Having a really solid transition program for those students coming across has been really important to us.
Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. Reporter Annabelle Francis hits the runway, kind of, for a fashion show in Port Pirie. And it's now too late to send back your postal ballot via mail. After the break, what you need to do instead. Welcome back. If you didn't put your postal ballot in the mail today, it's now too late to do so. Instead, you'll have to hand it in person. Ahead of the official count this weekend, the South Australian Electoral Commission says those who haven't mailed their ballots can still vote by physically returning their voting slips to their local council building where a ballot box is located. Physical voting ends this Thursday at 5 p.m, with results to start being counted on Saturday. The Port Pirie Lifestyle Village hosted their very own fashion show today with the help from JD's Fashion, the shop offering a personalised mobile shopping service to residents.
If you have a passion for fashion, your age or location shouldn't get in the way.
Just because we're retired doesn't mean that we can't wear the latest fashions.
Owner of JD's Fashion is passionate about women feeling comfortable and confident in their clothing.
I travel all over the state, everywhere from Mount Gambier to Port Lincoln, visit probably 150 to 200 places a year.
The fashion show is a chance for locals to shop the latest trends without travelling far. And for some of them, it's the opportunity to be a model for the first time.
There was a little lady the other week, there was 101 that modelled, and it's just beautiful to see them and they enjoy it.
The ladies enjoyed watching their friends on stage, feeling the materials and shopping until they dropped later on. But above all, it's a chance to socialise with friends.
Gets them out of their houses and just gives them a little bit of exercise, gives them something to do. Yeah, and we found that it just works really well.
Visit JD's Fashion website to book or check when they're visiting next. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Adelaide Crows are facing sudden death this week after going down to Melbourne in the first week of finals in the AFLW. The reigning premiers must beat Collingwood this weekend if they want to see another grand final.
Adelaide took off in their match against Melbourne during the first quarter, shaping up strongly against their eastern competitors. But Melbourne were not out for the count as they clawed their way back into the lead and maintained it until final siren.
Yeah, it was really cool. Had heaps of D's supporters out. which is probably our first home game in the city, which was nice. But yeah, heaps of D's fans getting behind us, a few big moments where they loved it. So it was really cool to see, and hopefully see him in the prelim back here, I'm assuming, in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, obviously we couldn't have been happier with the first quarter, but in the end, Melbourne responded really strongly. We were able to shut down that outside band a little bit in the first quarter, but after quarter time, they were able to release it to their runners, and yeah, they had the better of the game from then on.
The Demons clipped the wings of their opponents 7-6-48 to 4-3-27. For the other games in Finals Week 1, Richmond have their own sudden death match after losing to Brisbane. Geelong is out of finals after a heartbreaking 2-point loss to North Melbourne, and Collingwood took down the Western Bulldogs, who are also done for the year. For the semi-finals, the Crows take on the Pies this Saturday at Unley Oval for their do-or-die clash for the reigning premiers, while the Tigers face the Roos. With everything to play for, will a South Australian squad make it to the grand final once again? Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Town versus Town. Eddie McCarroll recaps the friendly cricket played over the weekend. And we'll have the weather details for the week ahead with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. Moving on to cricket now, and the Northern Super League continued over the weekend. The league that pits Port Augusta, Corn and Whyalla teams against each other is seeing friendly rivalries reawaken. Here's Edward McCarroll with this week's Cricket Wrap.
Round 4 of the Northern Super League did not disappoint, with North Whyalla hosting outsiders Quorn for a spirited match of twilight cricket. Travelling team Quorn batted first, but North's Matthew Quist did not make it easy for them. Quist's bowling looked as dangerous as ever, taking 3 wickets in quick succession early on in the match. Corey Finlay batted 6th for Quorn and turned it on at the crease, quickly amassing 41 runs before being bowled out by Dale Raymond. Northies dominated when they took to batting, Tom Boulderstone laying the final nail in the coffin for Quorn, smashing the ball for 4 and cementing the win for Northies with 162 runs. Over in Port Augusta at Etzer Oval, South Augusta ended their innings with 4 for 185. In reply, Whyalla's Rapina could only produce 96 runs. Then, in another case of home ground advantage, Centrals defeated West Augusta in Whyalla. The Roosters not holding back on the neighbouring city side, beating West Augusta by 144 runs. Down in Port Lincoln, it was a big weekend for Charlton Cricket Club, celebrating their 100th birthday with a win. Starting the party early, Charlton was the dominant force in their match, with 5 for 151 runs compared to Wayback's 149. In the other game, it was a much tighter contest. Batting second, Southern Air was eventually able to match Tasman's 76, but still lost 8 wickets in the run chase. Across the border in Broken Hill, after the first 2 weekends of the season were washed out, teams were finally able to get back on the pitch, where West had no problem running down Centrals and taking the win. In the other game, Northie's Jordan Vella achieved what many can only dream of, scoring a century and captaining his side to an eventual victory, with South unable to come anywhere close to North's 5 for 250. Lastly, in Port Pirie, Southport's Jake Walsh put on a show, making 42 runs for his team. Southport ended their innings with 180, 66 runs more than the Panthers could produce. In the other game, Port Germain made 175 runs. In reply, Wandera could only make 138. That's it for this week's Cricket Wrap. Tune in tomorrow night where we'll take a look at the region's other sports.
Thanks for that, Eddie. But it's time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, it was a beautiful day today.
It was an absolute pearl of a day, Maddie. The sun was shining, the birds were singing. A truly splendid spring day in the Spencer Gulf. Woodner reached 35 degrees this afternoon, 33 degrees in both Kadina and Cleve. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, while at top 31, Port Pirie Airport reached a maximum of 31.7 around 2:45. 32 in Port Augusta, 33 in Cooper Pedy, Port Lincoln reached 26. Taking Taking a look at the satellite image now, a high pressure system will move eastwards from mid next week. Conditions will continue to be hotter thanks to a northerly airstream. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Winds tending northeasterly 15 to 20 knots, seas up to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around a metre. 30 degrees in Port Lincoln tomorrow, down to 18 overnight. Set to reach a high of 33 degrees on the way for viewers in Cleve. Possible showers around Woodner on Tuesday, 36. Partly cloudy and set to reach a high of 35 in Whyalla. Same goes for Port Augusta, 35 and partly cloudy conditions tomorrow. Mostly sunny in Kadina, heading for a top of 31 degrees there. 34 in Port Pirie, partly cloudy. Even Clare cracks the 30s tomorrow. Mostly sunny and a high of 31. Sunny in Broken Hill with some light winds around. 30 degrees tomorrow. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Wednesday's weather. Goodness me, we're in for some thunderstorms, possible storms across the entire Spencer Gulf region. Temperatures ranging from 29 in Port Lincoln to 37 up in Cooper Pedy. Partly cloudy conditions in Broken Hill, 33 degrees. Moving on to Thursday's outlook, and things are looking a fair bit calmer. Sunny and 34 in Cooper Pedy, possible showers in Broken Hill, also 34, partly cloudy and 29 in Port Augusta and Woodner, 26 in Port Pirie, a cloudy top of 22 in Port Lincoln. And finally, taking a quick peek at how Friday's looking. Possible showers and storms around Port Augusta. At the moment, the Bureau has it in as a 40% chance. 8 degrees cooler down the road in Whyalla, heading for a partly cloudy top of 27. Blue skies in Kadina, 28. Sunny over the border in Broken Hill as well, heading for a top of 34. And just quickly, Maddie, aren't you a little warm in that turtleneck? After hearing the forecast, I think it's time to retire the winter wardrobe. That's all from me, Maddie. It's back to you.
Alex, I am definitely wearing the wrong top, but thank you so much for that. And that's the local news this Monday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.